Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the iRacing Formula 3.5 Challenge here, live from Autodromo Nazionale Monza in beautiful Italy. I'm Austin Knight. I am joined by Avery McDonald with Marco Barbernera in the production booth with us, and we are excited for another fantastic race for the iRacing Formula 3.5 Challenge. Avery, how are you feeling today?
Well, as I can hear your voice now, I just feel so much better. You know, it's been a fantastic day. I've been watching a couple of these F3.5 challenges, the last couple of races, and they've been amazing. And, you know, you bring these high-level drivers in, it's just going to be even better. So I'm excited. Just a really good track. You know, a lot of people's one of their favorite tracks here is Monza. So we're really excited to see what's going to happen here today.
Certainly is going to be a very exciting race, very close race, because a lot of these guys and going to be very close in the times, and especially into the draft. The Formula 3.5 car is like a vacuum cleaner with the draft. If you get behind him, you're going to end up directly on the gearbox, and that's going to be very interesting, especially down these long straights here at the Temple of Speed itself at Monza.
Yeah, the Temple of Speed, you know, that's no joke here. You got a lot of options to make some overtakes with the little chicanes, and you know, the toe is just so important. The DRS zone. We're on board here with Tim Delisle, and you know, Tim coming off a rough week, and we'll see if he can rebound today here at Monza. Always fun to drive. Always fun to watch him. The 8200 iRating driver. Big gap between him and Elbrink, who's 6700. So yeah, this is another stacked field.
Yeah, it is a stacked 22 car grid. A few names that haven't shown up so far this season have made their appearance back. I Am Keyman. He made a lot of appearances earlier on, but we haven't seen him at all. But he's going to be showing up today. Jamie Byrne, we've seen a few of him. And somebody I'm looking forward to seeing is Josh Stewart. I believe this is his first time in the top split this season.
Yeah, I believe so. Josh Stewart, the last driver in the top split here. So it's always good to see some fresh faces here on Apex Racing TV for this Formula 3.5 Challenge. And there's Delisle putting down the quick time. About just under 0.3 of a second quicker than Olsen, his teammate, the positive sim racing driver. Taking a look at Paul Ilbrink right now. Quite a bit off the pace, but he's got another lap to complete, so we'll see how he goes here.
Well, it's staying in Paul's favor, because remember what he always says, I'm a horrible qualifier. But somebody who's been on a good qualifying run, Robert Tarleton, he's been putting it onto the front row almost consistently, and he is sitting in third. And I'm looking at that rear wing. Robert Tarleton is running on a medium downforce wing instead of a full downforce like the rest of the guys are. Let's take a look at Tim's wing.
Maybe that's what he's running here in qualifying. So yeah, drivers using the different downforce package.
Tim's got the full wing. Ilbrink's got the full wing, but they can change the wing angle and qualify. And, oh no, Ilbrink's missed the corner. And Ilbrink into the wall. Ascari. Proven very hard for Paul Ilbrink. Delisle and Olsen, both positive sim racing cars, coming down the back straight and head to Parabolica right now. And they're going to be nose to nose. Who's going to qualify first? I believe it's going to be Tim Delisle, then Olsen. It's going to be... Oh, wow, almost exactly, but a new provisional pole for Tim Delisle. Olsen just barely behind him by a 10th. Fabio Ducarmo, he's coming across the line. He's going to come across in 5th place. He's running that medium downforce setup. Robert Tarleton in that nostalgic Marlboro livery. He comes across the line. And he does not improve.
Yeah, still a good time for Omar Baja coming in, sitting around 12th after he completed his final lap. But yeah, really stacked field. Pizzica here. Look at that. That's a nice looking car there. Really big fan of that car. That's his home track, which he's looking forward to.
corners and expecting to be very ambitious on lap 1 and throughout the race.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Going to the outside of Parabolica, coming across the line. Pisgah in that 16. Marlboro, McLaren, Renault, Honda. Very things I've never thought I would say. Well, it's a Formula Renault, Marco. Marco just asked, Renault? It's the car. It's the Formula Renault 3.5, but he also got Honda badging on it, so it's a Renault Honda. Because that exists. It's like the Subaru Toyota. Also known as the Subaru BRC and Toyota 86. Or, since we're in Italy, Toyo Baru. Thank you, Marco. Oh, Toyota Subaru. I get that.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. He's coming. He's going to make a lap.
Paul Ilbrink crossed the line, but yeah, he does get there for a second time, but it's a 135.72. And
spread out, a little more spread than what we normally have between the top and, you know, to the end of the bottom. But there could be some carnage here. I mean, big speeds, tight chicanes. We'll just have to wait and see.
Well, we certainly are. Tim DeLisle starts up on pole, followed by Greg Olson, Robert Tarleton, Theodore Burns, Fabio Ducarmo, James J. Pinksier, Paul Ilbrink, Edward Samborsi, Simone Pizzica, I Am Keyman, Alessandro Roccatello, Omar Baja, right behind him, followed by Rob Crouch, Shane Russell, Jamie Byrne, Josh Stewart, Dave Martin, Jason Henrique, Dylan Freckleton, Kenneth Storm, Tom Wedgwood, and Antonio Navarro. Your 22 car grid all lined up and ready to go here on Apex Racing TV at the Temple of Speed itself, Monza.
Oh, this is just a stacked field like always. Drivers from all over the world. You see the flags on the left side of your screen. And this, Austin, I mean, this is actually one of the highlights of my week, is coming here and be able to call this race with so many talented drivers. And this is one of the highlights of my week.
I think it's the highlights of all these guys' weeks because they work all week to build up that iRate, to gain enough skill to show their stuff in the top SOF split. And probably the highest SOFs, one of the highest SOF splits in all of iRacing. I believe we were at 4,000, 4.4 thousand iRating today, right on the money. And this is always a grand highlight. These guys got sponsors. These guys got teams. They work hard for this moment. And it is certainly going to be a massive race down into the front. And Tim DeLisle, it looks like he's changed his wing angle for the race. Well, we're going to find out. The 5 red lights are coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing in the Formula 3.5s here at Monza. And it's a great start by Robert Tarleton. His starting woes have not hit him today. Tarleton is going to bring it down to the middle. He's already down to the inside. Into the lead is Robert Tarleton. Tim DeLisle falling down to third. Gets a little bit loose. Greg Olson around to the outside. He's up. He stays in second place. Now DeLisle and Theodore Burns battling out for third. As around the field, a lot of cars are making moves, trying to jump up ahead. Kenneth Storm jumped up 2 spots. Dave Martin got a little bit loose, and now Tarleton defending down that inside line, and he overshoots the curb, and into the lead is Greg Olson. And there's...
Looked like just kind of locked the tires up a little bit, Austin, and pretty clean start though so far. A couple drivers lost some spots, but yeah, pretty clean start.
Pretty clean start indeed. And Antonio Navarro, has got out onto track right now. Dave Martin down 4 spots from his start. Was the biggest mover backwards from that. And I would say the only incident, Tarleton now trying to hold that outside line, and everyone's cutting Ascari. Tarleton and DeCarlo. Tarleton comes back in front of the field, almost pulling in Sebastian Vettel onto Sergio Perez. And now everyone, Lance Stroll, correction, and everyone's going 2, almost 3 wide, heading into Parabolica as the 2 positive sim racing cars race out ahead. James J. Pieser sits in 3rd ahead of Tarleton. Ilbrich, Burns, Samborski, Carmo, Keeman, Pizzica, Baja, Tarleton, Roccatello, Crouch, Enrique, Russell, Stewart, Byrne, Freckleton, Wedgwood, Storm, Martin, and Navarro. And here's Delisle using the draft, getting ahead of his teammate, and Tim Delisle is up into the lead. Back into the battle for 3rd between Paul Ilbrich and James J. Pieser. Ilbrich gets a dive down to the inside and forces James to go up onto the curb. Paul Ilbrich up into 3rd place. And oh no, chaos in turn 1. Byrne is slow. Roccatello is slow. It looks like Joshua Stewart was a bit slow as well.
Yeah, a couple drivers making mistakes early, definitely going into the chicane. We saw Burns go off track. We've seen Tarleton go off. A couple other drivers, big lock up there. Roccatello off the track. Yeah, everybody's just pushing the limits here. Right front wing damage for Roccatello, back up to Kenneth.
Alessandro Roccatello has a lot of damage on that car. He's definitely going to need to be pitting. Robert Carlton once again losing spot. He's got front wing damage.
Yeah, a lot of drivers already making those mistakes, and you can't make mistakes. Tarleton was up in the lead after the first corner, back down to 12th. He's going to have to make a big charge so if he wants to get up into the top 5. Tarleton trying to get around Crouch.
Dalton goes out to the inside, heading into Parabolica, but it's just, he just doesn't have the downforce to make that corner stick as well, as Crouch just flies away from him.
Yeah, big train of cars here down the straight. You see, looking back at Tarleton, there's Henrique just putting on a massive run, going to be able to probably easily make the overtake. Just needs to outbrake him just a little bit. Behind him, you see a little bit more battling. Oh, nice job by Tarleton.
Down to the inside. Tarleton winning that race on the brakes. Stewart up into 15th. Shane Russell behind him, making good ground up into the battle for 3rd between Ilbrich and Pieser. Paul Ilbrich, well, he's defending that one from James J. Pieser, as James just sitting right behind him.
They see a couple drivers running the medium downforce, so it's good to see a little bit of a difference. But take a look at Theodore Burns here, really on the gearbox with DeCarmo. DeCarmo put a good send in on the lap number 1 to get around Burns, and a really good battle here. Only into lap number 3 of 23 laps. Back to Martin and Navarro and Kenneth. 3-way battle for the 18th position.
Go down the inside, Theodore Burns on Fabio DeCarmo. But Fabio stays up there in 5th. A lot of cars getting very loose. The Marlboro car of Simone Pizzica gets extremely loose coming out of Ascari.
Yeah, Pizzica at his home track. He wants to put on a good showing here. Right in front of him is Samborski, Burns, and DeCarmo. So Pizzica needs to really put on a big move if he wants to get up to the top 5. Roccatello also going off.
He has so much damage on that car, but he's not going into the pit lane. And as we continue down the straight, I see James J. Pieser doing that little snake to keep those tires warm. And it's a big send by Theodore Burns on DeCarmo. Theodore up into 5th.
Yeah, Burns make a really good move over DeCarmo, but DeCarmo is not going to be settling back in that position. Expect a big send here.
Heading into that secondary chicane. Fabio's got that inside line. He hops over the first curb to solidify that 5th place again. Fabio DeCarmo back into 5th, followed by Burns And Edward Samborski is just watching this fight, waiting for the fireworks to kick off in front of him.
Yeah, he's in the right spot probably because, you know, these drivers could be making contact. It was close contact going into that chicane, but DeCarmo able to make a little bit of a gap, but with how strong the toe is, Burns and Samborski will be up there relatively soon.
Don't count those two guys out yet. As if these guys continue fighting and one of them just gets free, it is lights out right now. And currently it's lights out with the front two of Tim Delisle, Greg Olson running away 8/10 in front of the grid. As Samborski in that crash test dummy helmet of his closing in on Theodore Burns for 6th place. Let's ride on board Edward Samborski, DFR driver, going down to the inside on his teammate. Side by side they go, heading into turn 1. Who's going to be last of the late breaker? Samborski sending it in over the curb, and he's got it. He leaves room for his teammate. Great to see that. Edward Samborski's up into 6th place, and now he's beginning that charge on Fabio DeCarmo, but his teammate of Burns is right there beside him. They're still going to be side by side as they head into turn 3 and 4. Hard onto brakes, but Samborski cuts off the door. Edward Samborski stays in 6th place. Hops over a little curve. They got that nice pack going on. And speaking of a nice pack, well, is it really a pack if it's just 2 drivers?
Pretty soon it's almost going to be one, but you know, Tim and Greg pretty much have their best times pretty much identical. To take a look back at here at Robert Tarleton, started in 3rd and made a stellar move to get up to the lead, but you know, fell back after overshooting the corner, back into 15th. So down 12 spots, not really the kind of night he wants to have, but he's putting on a really good charge. We'll see if he can make up a couple positions. His first target's going to be Shane Russell.
Well, Tarleton still has that damage. He's hurting in the corners a lot, and I think he's going to be a bit slower on the straights. Let's take a replay. This is Josh Stewart. Unfortunately, he's pulled off the track right now. What has happened to Josh? He's got that front wing damage, and oh, takes the curb, goes for a spin. Ella. Oh, and he's beached. I don't want to say it, but he was stuck up there like a beached whale, and Tarleton is into the pit lane.
Yeah, unfortunately, the boat couldn't roll, but right now the battle is hot with Olson and Delisle.
And oh my goodness, chaos. Theodore Burns, Keeman, Crouch, Freckleton, Henrique Russell, and Omar Baja. Turn 1 chaos happened again. This is the replay. Simone Pizzica defending on that inside line. Theodore Burns goes around to the outside. Pizzica dives it down low, and oh no, the wheels caught off and everyone turned around. Omar Baja gets taken for a ride on Alessandro Roccatello.
Wow.
Or I mean, one of the white cars that might have been Jason Enrique. And Simone Pizzica's off the track again. How did he get over there? Did he get into the grass?
It's just the carnage that we didn't want to see, but we take a look at Delisle and Greg Olson.
No drama whatsoever from these two. So, I'm wondering what happened to Simone Pizzica right there. How do we go back to see that turn 1 incident again? So here's turn the second chicane. Pizzica getting charged by Jamie Byrne. Oh, he gets turned! Oh, he's not going to be happy about that, and Marco would know exactly what Simone Pizzica is probably saying right now in very angry Italian. And Tim Delisle looks like he got a slowdown from this as Greg Olson, well, momentarily took the lead, but Tim Delisle defended that extremely well. We head into the secondary chicane, dealing with Freckleton. Ooh, caught it between a rock and a hard place. We got chaos behind. Oh my goodness!
I think that's Kenneth
Storm
was flying.
caught in a cyclone as we got 2 Formula 3.5 cars off the wheels, one upside down and one flying through the sky. Oh no. And this is what happened. I believe I could touch the sky. All the dreams that I found a way.
Wow.
You know, if you start it, Avery, you gotta finish it. Come on.
Oh, I know, but I mean, you hate to see it. There's so many drivers out because of that, and you'd hate to hear me sing anymore. But
no, it was beautiful, man.
The battle's on. It was JJ Power trying to made a big move on Ilbrink.
Yeah, but once he started singing, I'm like, I can't. I have to join it because
he's just trying to spread his wings and fly away right now.
I know.
JJ Pinkster.
Very unfortunate that both their races had to go in, and very unfortunate that we both just tried to sing it. I believe I can fly.
Well, it was you don't get that moment very often.
I know it's not.
We had it here at Monza. So he took off, and unfortunately for the Kenneth, we have to come back next week.
Hopefully we see him next week because he's definitely a spirited fighter. I am Keyman. He was carrying a few cars on top of him. He was carrying Omar Baja. Doesn't look like he has any roof damage as we recreate the famous F1 chopper shot. AKA cars going into the trees as they race through this national forest here in Monza.
What a good battle here. Speaking of next week, Mount Panorama. Same time, same place here on Apex Racing TV. That's going to be exciting, but this is also super exciting.
The bathers in this in these cars is going to be very interesting to watch, and we might see a different winner there. And we might see our lowest finishing total.
Take a look back from JJ Power. Trying to spread his wings and fly away from Paul Hilbrink. Back to Freckleton, gonna make a move on Henrique for the battle for ninth.
He's sending it side by side to go. Oh, that's beautifully placed. Dylan Freckleton up into ninth.
That's a hashtag worthy pass there. Nice move by him. Lap 9 of 23. Gap starting to, shrink up a little bit. Then he starts to pull away a little bit, but running pretty much almost identical times, plus or minus a tenth of a second.
Well, Olsen is all up in the draft of Delisle, and he could, if he stays within a second of him, he's just going to be sucked up on the straights and carried along. If you look at the gap right now, Olsen is getting a lot of time on the straights, not even using DRS, so that is his way is staying up there with him. That sector 2, sector 3 is falling up, but sector 1 and sector 4 got right back on there.
Yeah, as long as you stay within your tolerance of a plus or minus a tenth of a second, you'll be able to catch up a little bit and get my machinist wording in there. So
yeah, if they were within a tenth of an inch of each other, this would be extremely.
That'd be awesome.
It would be amazing.
That'd be net code, but
it made amazing netcode. But the only series where I see somebody racing within a tenth of an inch at max speed would probably be a spec racer Ford.
Yeah. The old SRF, fun little car. This car is fun. I was driving. I probably put on a good hour driving the car here earlier. But yeah, this was fun. This is such a fun car to drive. I haven't quite done a race yet, but I've been doing about an hour practice session every day before one of these. But Delisle's
and Enrique battling it out for 9th place. As, ooh, tasty and spicy. Freckleton on Henrique down low. And, ooh, Henrique got caught up right there on the outside. This is allowing Shane Russell and I Am Keyman to catch up on them.
Yeah, once was a two-way battle. Now it's a four-way battle for the 9th position, led by Freckleton, then Henrique, and Russell and Keyman.
Russell just trying to stay up with these two. Henrique, though, dancing on the tail end of Freckleton. And he's caught right up. He's looking on the outside, going way down low. There's almost no room down there. He's forcing it back wide. It's a drag race heading into Parabolica. Jason Henrique is up in a 9th through Parabolica, and he did a nice job defending that, cutting off the nose right there. But just a lap too early, because right now, onto the inside, Dylan Freckleton down low and back into 9th place.
Freckleton tried to make a move.
Henrique trying to hold it on the outside in the brake zone. Left the space onto the inside. A very delayed turn in as Freckleton jumps over the curb, and now Henrique is being chased down by Russell.
I tell you what, that pass by Freckleton was like a rare Egyptian silk. It was so smooth.
Have you ever felt rare Egyptian silk?
Yeah, I read it from earlier. Oh, Freckleton!
Freckleton, no! He's trying to pull away from the pack and unfortunately lost it on his own. Let's take a look at Dylan Freckleton. Heading into the secondary chicane. Are we going to see a curb strike? No, it's just, he just lost the back end on his own.
He hits the tires. Well, back to the front. It's been the Positive Sim Racing show with Delisle Olsen. And you see just in the back of their JJ Power, also known as James J. Pinkster, to, well, everybody else but me, is in 3rd with Ilbrink in 4th.
I think it's your opinion that only counts, though. Is that the way it goes?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. And when it's you not here, it's mine, right?
Sure.
Actually, no, I don't think we should go by that, because if it was my word, everybody's names be mispronounced and nobody be even speaking English. As Henrique and Russell battling out into turn 1, Henrique defends 9th place.
Pretty much at the halfway point with 4 drivers out so far. Hopefully that 4 drivers out stays at 4. But you know, Austin, this battle we've had so far today is everywhere all over the track, and that's what I love about this series.
Yeah, Formula 3.5 providing a lot of battles throughout the track. Usually we don't really have much of a battle for first, but the draft on this track is proving itself extra tasty right now, as Greg also trying to stay within the draft of Tim Delisle and try to challenge him for the lead, and I don't think either of them have used their DRS yet.
Yeah, that DRS, you know, limited amount to use. So if you're sitting in like Greg Olson's spot, if you don't need to use it, you could stay in the toe and pull right up to it. Save it for the end.
Yeah, those final 5 uses of the DRS are going to be very crucial, as new fast lap for the race goes to Paul Ilbrink.
Just barely quicker than Delisle, but he is quicker. Trying to chase down the JJ Power machine in 3rd. Best lap for Pinkster. Very, very close to what Ilbrink's ran.
A little bit of a twitch. Henrique once again defending that inside line and staying in 9th. But Russell, he's taking notes, watching how Henrique's taking that corner. And I expect by next time, we should expect Russell to try to send that around the outside and exploit what he's learned on Jason Henrique, because he is getting very nippy at the heels of the 13.
Yeah, you don't want to take a bite off more than you can chew, though.
Russell closing in on Henrique.
staying in that draft, but I would say the dark horse, well, really the white horse in this situation, would be the all-white car of I Am Keyman.
Yeah, first time we've seen him all season long. Good to see some new faces. Still only 4 drivers out. If they can have 13 completed as they go on the finish lap number 14. Russell putting on a whale of a drive, but Henrique really defending there. Really just did a good job as they go side by side down front straight.
Gotta love it when I accidentally leave Trading Paints in painting mode. And oh no! Keyman and Enrique make contact! Enrique locked up, and here comes Keyman, and just a bop on the back end. And extremely unfortunate for Jason Henrique.
Man, this battle between Pinkster and Ilbrink, it's just been, lighting up, getting ready to go on fire. Both colors of cars, yellow you see a little bit in a fire, and you also see red in a fire. So this is about to be a little clash, and I mean, Ilbrink wants that final spot on the podium.
What's the hardest part of the fire? The yellow part or the red part?
Well, it's the blue, but
yeah, but there's no blue on the car.
well, there's underneath.
Isn't there a white fire? Or is that just an anime thing?
I don't watch anime, so I don't know.
Marco, is white fire just an anime thing? As we see Keyman and Freckleton racing nose to gearbox, heading into turn 1. Keyman looking around the outside this time, trying to force a mistake. Freckleton, though, no mistakes here. That 17 staying ahead of the 12. Freckleton and Keyman, that battle for 10th is alive. And if y'all want to join in on this chat and debate if white fire is real or just something in anime, put your opinions down in the comment section or in the live chat, and well, we'll find out.
Yeah, it's one of the colors you can have in a fire. So
it is. I've heard the term white hot before, but I've never seen it.
No comment. Tarleton put down the quick lap so far. Wow, just barely quicker.
He got that car repaired, some new tires on there, the new aero. So Robert and Tim Delisle takes it back. I think Tim's hit the fast button.
Yeah, I tried hitting the fast button and I put it in the wall, so it's gonna work out for me.
Tim just has his own different fast button. Pinkster and Ilbrink battle for 3rd. James J. Pinkster staying in 3rd. Paul Ilbrink doesn't go for a move. I think he's playing a few games with James right now.
Yeah, it's a battle of chess right now. A couple pieces are already out of the match, and just waiting for his final move to get the checkmate to get in the 3rd position.
Yeah, you always gotta be focused on that end game and not the short game, and that's racing is a very mental game because you know you're faster than him, but if you get past him, you're gonna be dragging him along with you because of the draft. But if he drags you along, you won't have enough chances to make that move. So it's really a game of bouncing the odds on when's the perfect time to make a move.
No, the perfect time to make a move is when the guy in front of you wrecks.
Well, that's always the best time to make a move because it's the less risky time. Unless it's in NASCAR, then it's scary as always.
Yeah, risk it for the biscuit. whenever the opportunity is there, you just gotta go for it. And
Okay,
that's
Senna.
that's my mentality. But I don't usually get it past people. I'm usually the one getting past like as a lap down. So I
Okay,
really don't have
Bruno.
much experience. Elbrink's kind of back a little bit. You take a look at the speed on the bottom right-hand corner. That's fast. That's super fast. Super slow now as they go through the chicane and back onto the throttle.
Ooh, hesitant on the throttle.
A little hesitation. Wasn't sure what move he wanted to make.
Man, just got a little bit loose, a little bit of a wiggle, and then that's caused the, well, that pretty much caused him to check up on himself and catch the rear end and not risk anything as he's chasing down James J. Pincer.
Yeah, a little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. You gotta be careful with that. Man, looking from the right side of this car, you see him work into the apex, get a good corner exit. Still in the toe of James J. Pincer. Still stellar run for Elbrink, up 3 spots. Biggest mover of the race is tied between Freckleton and Navarro. Navarro started from the tail of the field, making some big moves. Elbrink's going to try to make a big move on Pincer to get to the final spot on the podium, but he's just kind of minding his business, you know, trying to find the right opportunity and hoping he's got a chance to make a pass. But Pincer's putting on a really good run.
James J. Pincer sitting in third. Can he stay ahead of Paul Elbrink as they enter lap 18 here at Monza? As Tim DeLisle puts in a 1:36.007.
Anytime you put down a 007 lap time, I tell you what, that's one of the best you're going to see. But will he get into the 135s? We're just going to have to wait and see. But right now, Elbrink just kind of catching up a little bit to Pincer. The battle for third is still heating up, not quite to the breaking point.
And Elbrink getting very close on the back end of James. We got James braked very early on that corner, so I think he was a little bit unsure, but Paul zoomed right up onto that gearbox right there. But both these guys moved up 3 spots. Our biggest mover in the race is the 17 of Dylan Freckleton, as we're seeing Robert Tarleton making a move on Dave Martin after that unfortunate start for Robert Dalton, as he puts in a 1:35.920.
The only driver to get into the 135s. Remember the last time he got the quickest time? 2 seconds later, Tim DeLisle took it over. And we'll just have to wait and see if DeLisle's going to get it this time. So he completes lap number 18.
Faster. He went a 1:36.01. I think we're about to see DeLisle pull in a 1:30, 1:50, 1:39, 1:35. No.
Oh. Maybe next time around, but the battle still is within just a couple tenths of a second. Elbrink in a good run on power, on the J-chain power. Right to the gearbox. Is he going to make the move? Nope, not quite.
No,
just waiting. You know, plenty of time. Plenty of time.
He's got time. He definitely has time to make that move. 5 laps remaining here. And it's all the time in the world he needs, but it's exactly at that moment where he really needs it. The opportunities for him are closing up. But him running back there is definitely not affecting James J. Pincer.
Well, I think part of the reason he's probably not making a lot of moves so far this race is DeCarmo's really, I mean, he's behind him, but a couple moves of slowing him down. DeCarmo could catch up and it could be a 3-way battle for the 3rd position. So that's probably part of the reason why Paul's holding off a little bit. But he knows if he makes a pass that James is going to be right there, going to try to go back around him. And you want to be the car in 2nd.
It certainly is. It's all about managing the risk versus the rewards. You don't want to go for the reward only to get it taken away from you in the next lap. And, oh, very, very loose over the chicane goes Henrique.
Yeah, Navarro was looking to make a move into 12th. Kind of caused Henrique to have a little shaky coming out of there. So we'll see if Navarro is going to be able to make a move for the 12th position. Lap 20 of 23, so it's starting to wind down.
Enrique Navarro. Navarro looking onto the outside. Enrique defending that inside as they head into a scar. Enrique hurting his line, but he defended that well. But with less than 4 laps to go, it's going to be very hard to keep the charging car right behind him. And Navarro in that very famous livery right behind him. The Cannon Camel Williams car. Or, but not the Williams car.
Austin stands corrected. Side by side for 12. Wow, Tarleton put down a killer lap, 135.7.
My Trading Paints has gone extremely fishy on me. It's just showing people in random liveries right now. So I will stop making any comments on liveries.
They all look nice.
They all do look nice, whichever ones we're seeing.
Speaking of nice, that was a nice lap time Tarleton put down the lap before. Quickest time, but here's Ilbrink. Pinkster for third. Pinkster still out in front. Lap 21 of 23. Delisle put down another quick time in front of him. Put a big gap on Olsen. Probably using his DRS now.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's within that 8 use range, so 8 laps to go. We usually see Tyndall start turn on that DRS and well, really get those legs moving. And well, he broke free of the draft of Greg Olsen, so he definitely did that at some point to get that draft even more. Navarro and Enrique going side by side. They head into Parabolica. Oh, and James touches Ilbrink, and they both go wide.
Yeah,
and
very close.
Fabio. Fabio's getting on them. We're going to have a 3-way fight. Ilbrink has to do a slowdown penalty. James A. Peaster with the bump and run. Very American of him. And here comes Fabio DuCarmo on Paul Ilbrink. And Ilbrink going to the other side of the track, trying to break that draft. Get a replay of this move right here. And James A. Peaster, well, he was really just cornered into it. Didn't have a lot of track to his right, not a lot of track to his left. Kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, or a bunch of icy grass, and Paul Ilbrink being the hard place, and not a lot of real estate to work with right there. It's kind of squeezed, but very unfortunate for Paul Ilbrink getting tapped like that and losing that spot like that. 10 to Lyle, 2 laps to go.
Just at the wrong place in the wrong time. Kind of unfortunate. We're gonna have a really good battle for the final spot.
We're still very close together.
Yeah, Pinks are still leading Delisle, not Ilbrink and DeCarmo. Whoa, and Delisle's leading everybody.
What's new about that one?
Well, actually, that isn't always how it goes.
Yeah, from time to time, we sometimes do get a shock like that, but we usually see Tim Delisle and the Positive Sim Racing boys all the way up there. They dominate this car year in and year out. We see Russell and Freckleton going side by side. Russell down low, Freckleton up high, trying to get the speed off the switchback. Let's stay in 9th and 10th right now.
Yeah, these drivers have been battling all day long. Shane Russell putting on a really good drive. Freckleton also putting on a pretty good drive. Just this is coming down to the end.
They come across the line. White flag. Sarah La Banca in the air for Tim Delisle. And woo! Timmy!
T-Bone.
Getting a little bit squarely through Parabolica. Those tires might be going out, and Olsen still falling back. Did Olsen do exactly the same thing?
Oh, there's about the same gap as they kind of had for a little while. Olsen's kind of, as you can see, has outpaced just a little bit.
Well, it's battle for third. 1 lap to go. Who's going to go for it? Ilbrink around to the outside. Pinsker defending onto the inside. Ilbrink trying to hold it around the outside. Pinsker hops over the curb. Ilbrink trying to hold it. Exit off the inside, but Pinsker holding it around to the outside. Still side by side as they enter Lesmo 1 and 2. Pinsker leaving that indoor door open, and he's kept it. Nice move to hold it around to the outside, but now we got drag race heading into Ascari. Pinsker, Ilbrink, Caro racing it in for third. We're not going to leave this fight as Tim Delisle rounds Parabolica. Paul Ilbrink goes wide heading into Ascari. Side by side, corner to corner, door to door they go. There's no doors on a Formula 3.5 car, but this is how close they are racing it. We're just going to continue talking as Ilbrink trying to chase down Pinsker. Goes onto the outside. Wheel to wheel they go. Heading into the final corner as Tim Delisle takes the win. Paul Ilbrink sends it around to the outside, but sending it down to the inside is James J. Peace. But Ilbrink round the outside in the final corner. Takes it at the last moment. Paul Ilbrink finishes in third. And DeCarmo mid-corner in Parabolica took a big slide, and Edward Samborski comes home in a surprise 5th place. Let's ride on board with Fabio DeCarmo. Heading into Parabolica, trying to stay with them. We hear him just getting on the throttle extremely early, and then the back end gets out from the locks up, and then here comes Samborski, whooshing by him like a bald eagle, and up into 5th. What a exciting race we had here. And here's Alessandro Roccatello slowing to a near halt as Dave Martin, Jamie Byrne, and Omar Baja come across the line. Avery, what a race we saw here today.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you saw Ilbrink waiting to get around Pinsker, tried to make a move, and contact. Nobody really at fault. And then he comes back on the final turn to make a move for the final spot on the podium. I say it every time. You like what you saw, come back next week at Mount Panorama, which is going to be a riot. It's going to be awesome. This is just such a fun series to cover. Take the results there, Austin.
Tim Delisle takes the win, followed by Greg Olson, Paul Ilbrink, James St. Peter, Everton Samborski, Fabio DeCarmo, Theodore Burns, Rob Crouch, Shane Russell, I am Keeman, Dylan Freckleton, Antonio Navarro, Jason Henrique, Robert Tarleton, Jamie Byrne, Dave Martin, Omar Baja, Alessandro Roccatello, Tom Wedgwood, Kenneth Storm, Simone Pizzica, and Josh Stewart is your finishers here today at Monza for the iRacing Formula 3.5 challenge, as we wait for a few of our drivers to come into our interview room. Avery, what was your highlight of the race?
Well, my highlight of the race was being able to spend time with some great people like Marco and Austin. But of the actual race, that final move by Ilbrink was just fire. I mean, I said it was starting to heat up, and it just lit a fire, and he made a stellar move. So that was probably my highlight of the race.
Well, speaking of absolute fire and fire moves, we have Paul Ilbrink standing by. Avery, take it away.
Hey, Paul, congrats on a podium finish. How were you able to get around James there on that final turn?
More power.
It's always good.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Just brake late, try to keep the outside line, keep the most speed in the car, and I guess he didn't over push it into the corner either. So just one of those things, I guess.
Yeah, you put on a really good charge. I mean, started a little bit back in the field. But how was the overall race from your point of view?
Yeah, that qualifying wasn't great. I did a reasonable first lap. Second lap was much better, but I completely, I don't know, I had a brain freeze into Ascari when I like completely overcooked the entry and ruined the lap there. But yeah, it went pretty smooth. The first lap was pretty exciting, and then from there on it was just me and James driving, well, trying to follow the two guys in front, which was quite hard here, especially with Greg sitting in Tim's draft and they kept pulling away. And once James like overtook me, I kind of like sat there. Didn't want to like start battling all race long, so I left it like quite late. Then we had that little moment into the second chicane, which I'm not sure what happened, if we had a ghost contact or something, but that was a bit sketchy. But yeah, we both survived and had a good battle in the end, so it was a good race for me.
Yeah, it was such a good drive for you. Before we let you go, anybody you'd like to thank?
Guys, for doing awesome broadcasts, and all my teammates at Radicals Online and the partners and sponsors: Armor Syndrome, Cranfield Simulation, Track Racer, Joe Real Timing, Turn Racing, MOATF Podcast, Six Sideways, and Pixel Dust.
Awesome. Congrats on a great run, Paul. We'll see you next week. That's Paul Ilbrink taking home third in the podium. Tim Delisle's caught up with our man Austin Knight.
Tim, it was another fantastic week for you today. You started off, well, kind of rocky. You fell down to third, but then you powered your way through it and got into the lead, and, well, you did Tim Delisle things, I must say.
Yeah, the start scared me a bit. Like, I was expecting Robert to be quick off the line, but I thought maybe he and Greg would end up side by side and they'd fight through turn one and I'd be able to just run off into the distance. It was kind of the opposite. I tried to move across and yeah, Rob was just too quick. So yeah, he took the lead, but then it looked like he had a lock-up or something at the second chicane. I know it's quite bumpy there. So that kind of put him out of position, and then I think he had an incident behind us at Ascari or something like that.
Not only him, most of the entire field just went straight on into Ascari.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, lucky for Greg and I, we got through there unscathed, and yeah, Greg didn't make it difficult. I think he was happy just to, because we had a little bit of a gap behind us, he didn't want to fight and potentially bring the rest of the field in, because the slipstream's so powerful here, as you guys would have seen. And yeah, I just want to apologise to him as well. I got a slowdown in the first chicane. He could have easily overtaken me, but he decided to just stick behind, and yeah, we both went off. And yeah, other than that, it was really good, except I don't know if you guys caught, I had a half spin out of Parabolica.
Oh, we got it.
I saw that.
Yeah, I was going for my old like fastest lap on the last lap thing and activated DRS at the exit of Parabolica early. So yeah, I lost a 10th and a half there, and Robert got the fastest lap by about 300ths, it looks like. So yeah, I'll let him have it. It looked like he had a rough race, but still had the pace to be up there with Greg and I, so it's a shame.
Well, it's definitely not a shame that you took another win here today. Always seems that you're here. Coming up next week, it is Mount Panorama Bathurst. Are you looking forward to that craziness?
Yeah, I think I'll revoke my Australian citizenship and say, because it's not for Formula cars. You know, we don't have the suspension for it. I don't know if it's going to be medium downforce or high, but yeah, I feel like it's just going to be a train over the mountain. I don't know if it's going to be flat through there or not, but I'm also hoping to get a new VR headset, the HP Reverb G2, next week. So yeah, I'd like to take some time to break that in and adapt. So yeah, I don't think you'll be seeing me next week, but I'll be watching and hope it's entertaining, and I'm sure it will be.
All right, well, congrats on the win, Tim. Enjoy your small vacation. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, the team, Positive Sim Racing. Congrats to my teammate Lubomir, who's competing in the Formula E Series at the moment. Took victory also at Monza this morning. So yeah, Greg, we got the 1-2. It's been a pretty good day for the team, and we had a nightmare race yesterday. You can ask Greg about that if you want. But yeah, just great to have that recovery. And yeah, congrats to Paul getting James in the final quarter. Good stuff. We're very close. And thanks to you guys for the coverage.
All right. Thank you, Tim Delisle. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here in the Formula 3.5 series at Monza. Wanted to say a special shout out to all of everyone joining us in chat and joining us along for an amazing ride. I've been joined by Avery McDonald with Marco Barbonero in the booth, providing all the cameras and beautiful graphics. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a great night.